Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Carrots and Cosmos. Last week, Jem showed you around her new allotment plot and started on her paths, and I gave you a tour of my garden. This week, Jem's going to be sowing some sweet peas, removing an old greenhouse from her plot, and talking about why she likes to grow flowers. But first, I need to get planting some things that should have been planted a long time ago. Well, we've just been through our shed because last winter I wasn't very well, and I wasn't well enough to sort out the onions and the garlic and the tulips and plant all those sorts of bulbs. These are Senshu yellow, I don't know if you can make that out, Senshu yellow onions. So I've just sorted them out and they seem to have fared not too badly. I thought they'd all be completely rotten. I mean, they're obviously sprouting and then they're I don't know if they'll make it or not, but I've managed to sort them out. And to this side is all the ones that are sort of a bit firmer to the touch, and that they sort of seem to be faring better. Whereas there's some over here, like this one here, that just completely seem hollow inside, but they seem to have like put up a shoot, and I'm wondering if that's why, if all the goodness has gone into the shoot and it's hollow now, but whether that's still okay to plant out, or should I just leave it because it's done as much as it'll do, or I'm not sure about that one. And these are the ones that I've separated out because there's mould on them ones, but it's not bad. I went onto the UK Here We Grow Facebook page and everyone's been very helpful, and they said to plant them anyway, and that they should be alright as long as they're not as long as they're firm and not mouldy. So I'm going to give them a go. I'm going to plant them out, see if they do anything. Let's hope that they do, but if not, we'll know that not to do that again. This is my solent white garlic. I don't know what that's going to look like. I'll have to open them up and take them apart and see if there's mould. And there looks like a little bit of something on there. I don't know, we'll have a look at that. But so I'll get these outside, hopefully I'll find something to plant them in and we'll see where we go from there. So this is what I've found to plant the onions in. This used to have radishes in. They were supposed to be overwintering long radishes, and this was my Minui's radish harvest for the year, so they worked really well, as you can see. So this is just spent compost, so I'm going to put some of this multi-purpose fertilizer in, and I've also ordered some rock dust to go in, so I'll sprinkle some of this on top and then I'll get the onions in. So, I don't know if any of this is right or if they grow, but let's face it, they're not looking like they've had the best of starts in general anyway, so I don't want to waste too many resources on them if they're not going to grow a bit more. Okay, that looks nice. So with a bit of rock dust and stuff on the top, I'm hoping that might be kind of enough. If you know anything I can do to give them a better chance, then please comment below. So I'm just going to make a little hole So these were the ones that were slightly better. Come on, little onion. Try and grow for me. Okay, so I'm going to just do that all along until I've got all the onions in, and then I'll try and cover that with something so the birds don't think that they're worms and pull them out. Okay, they're all in. I've put a couple of those ones that are a bit hollow. So this one here and this one here, I've just put in for an experiment, just to see if they would have worked or not. Still got quite a few left down there, and I've got one here. It looks like a little toucan. I like the little toucan. Okay, that's the onions done. Good luck, little onions. So we don't actually have a proper greenhouse, but we've got this sort of half a greenhouse. And here are the onions in their new home. We've given them a little bit of a water, so I hope they'll be happy there. So I've just opened up my garlic, the Solent White, and it was stored in the shed, the damp shed, not protected at all. So I'm really pleased that these have actually weathered it really well, because I know Jane's allotment, she had a disaster with hers and they all went mouldy, bless her, but my ones seem to have fared okay, and they were just in their little plastic packaging. So I'm relieved about that, so we'll get round to hopefully getting them out tomorrow, seeing if they can come to something. So I'm going to do these pretty much the same as the onions. I'm going to use the same fertiliser that I used before, the all-purpose fertiliser, and with the help of my trusty companion over there, we'll see if we can get these done. So Sean from the horticultural channel says, don't just push them in like that into the ground, because it damages these roots. So Sean, I'm going to take your advice, make a little hole with my finger, like for the onions. Come on, with the power of the Hort channel, grow. I've already found a worm in here, that's a good sign. Welcome. So here's my garlic, these little bits here poking out, similar to the onions really. Good luck, little fellas. So I've covered it with this mesh to keep off the birds, and it's started raining now, so I'm going to head in, possibly see if I can find something else to sow indoors where it's a bit warmer. I don't remember sowing this in the propagator. It seems to be doing rather well. I've also realised that these potatoes are not supposed to be in full sun, and we're getting a bit more sun on here than I'd like, so I'm going to move them somewhere in light but not direct sunlight. I'm just sorting through my tulip bulbs now. We had to chuck a fair few away because they're really quite mouldy. I'll show you some of them in a minute, but I mean, I've managed to salvage these ones. I mean, they're not brilliant, but they're the best of a bad bunch, so I may as well sow them to kind of see what happens. There's ones like this one. She's kind of got this sort of stuff on, but I don't think that's too bad. Certainly not compared to some of them. But I've never really planted tulips even before, so, and then this has got all that kind of stuff on them as well, so I'm not sure. That's probably not a good thing, but I'm going to plant them, see if anything happens, and if we get anything, then that's a bonus because I'm not really expecting anything from them. So I'll just carry on sorting through these and I'll plant them out in a little while. Here's some images of the ones that are a bit too mouldy to be planted. I also got some tulips for a secret Santa on one of the Facebook pages that I'm a member of. So these ones I'm hoping they're going to grow, but I'll name all the types of tulips down below on the bottom of the screen, so you know everything that I'm going to try and grow. Whether they'll come up or not, we'll see. So I'm going to start off with these secret Santa ones, which are just a mix. I don't know what they look like, and they're going into this round pot here. So that's the last of my tulips planted. So now we'll give them all a quick water and put them in the little greenhouse, and then have a well-deserved cup of coffee.
Easy on the coffee, Jazz.
I'm more interested in the vegetable side of things than the flower side of things. I think my main interest comes with trying to grow vegetables as organically as possible. I think that's really because about 3 or 4, I can't even remember, about 3 or 4 years ago I was diagnosed with ME, and there seems to be absolutely no medical help available. So the obvious route was just to try and find out as many things and to do what I can from my end. And there's not really enough research or anything to say what to do apart from rest. And I guess look after your body, look after your health as best as you can. So I thought that trying to eat healthily would at least help in some way, or probably be the only sort of taking back of power that I had. So that's why vegetables really became such a big thing, and I've kind of watched loads and loads of YouTube videos and read loads of books, and it just became a real obsession. So why organically? I just think if you're going to grow yourself, you may as well grow things that it's not covered in chemicals and things, because if you're going to do that, then why not just buy it from the supermarket? I'd like to just make sure I try and get as many nutrients and things into the vegetables, and just enjoy it as well. I just love the idea of vegetables. Flowers I like as well, but I prefer flowers which have a purpose for me as well. So I mean, like any flowers that are good for herbal things, like, I don't know, mint tea, or definitely herbs. Things like marigolds that you can use in sort of cosmetic things if you want to make your own. Things like nasturtiums and marigolds also help with companion planting, so plants like that. And anything like borage, which is good for bees, and also you can eat the leaves and the flowers. And a lot of the flowers that I grow seem to appeal to the bees, and I think our flowers last year probably did better than our vegetables. But I'm more interested in vegetables probably than fruit, because I think I can live without fruit, but I can't live without vegetables. So I love fruit, but I haven't got much space in my garden. It's quite a small garden, really. I mean, anyone from America who watches the allotment channels here on YouTube, I think they wonder what it's all about and why people grow on allotments and why they need them. But the majority of British gardens are quite small, and you don't have like a garden and then like a little bit that you could use for your allotment or to grow vegetables. There's no way I could feed myself with the size of my garden for a year. I mean, I can go a little way and get a few meals and a few added bits, but eventually I'd like to have enough beds in the back I can be as sort of self-sufficient in terms of food as possible. But it's never going to be enough to feed myself, for a whole year with this amount of space. But I'll do my best. We'll see. This year I'm hoping will be the year of the veg, the year of the herb, and I hope Gemma has a great year for the flower. So now over to Gem at her allotment.
Okay, today I've got reinforcement. I've got my dad to help me. We're going to try to get rid of the greenhouse, the dreaded job that I was dreading. I'm going to pick up some organic horse manure, maybe mulch the asparagus, and have another look at my path. So this is today's job, getting rid of this. It's not going to be easy, I shouldn't think. Not looking forward to it, but when that's done, then I'll have room to make perhaps a compost bin or something. My dad's going to get some gravel board, and we're going to, so I don't know what that is, but we're going to put it on the edge of the path so that when we put the wood chip down, it's not going to go onto the beds. But that won't be done today, and I couldn't get any more manure for another week or so, so I can't mulch my asparagus. So today's job is purely the greenhouse. My dad pointed out as well that these little fellas, I thought that they were some kind of spring flower, but actually if you rub the leaves together, I think it's either garlicky or oniony, so I've got something there that I'll keep my eye on, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so that was yesterday. Still got a lot to do with the greenhouse. Only half of it got taken to the tip, and even when we did take it to the tip, we filled one big 100-litre empty, of course, compost bag full of timber, and the whole of my dad's car boot, which is huge, full of timber, and a couple of buckets of glass as well. And when we got there, we were told that only the 100-litre compost sack could really be got rid of, but it was our lucky day and they let us do the whole car, but otherwise it would have cost £30. So we're only allowed one 100-litre sack per week of timber. So if they hadn't have let us do the rest of it, and we literally just had to take that amount once a week, it would probably take about 2 months to get rid of that greenhouse. So we might have a little bonfire and burn the rest of it, because we're allowed them on the allotment. I think that might be the easiest way to get rid of it. Yeah, so still lots to do, and after having slept on it and things sinking in from yesterday, when my dad said he's going to help me with stuff with the path, I think what he's saying is we're basically going to rip it up and start again. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be perfect because I didn't know what I was doing. But I mean, you could break an ankle walking on that. It's so uneven. And my dad's really precise, so we could get like a really nice path laid. Probably keep the shape. We've written out the measurements of the beds and stuff, and I know what I'm going to plant and where now, so it's completely changed from the first episode. But it's good, I've got a plan. So I can start sowing. I've already started sowing some seeds. Today I'm going to sow some sweet peas and show you some other seedlings that have come up, and also talk about why I'm doing flowers, and just put a little bit of context around it. So we'll start with the sweet peas. Okay, so these are the sweet peas. I've been soaking them overnight. I read a few different instructions. Some said to do it overnight, some said 8 hours, some said 24 hours. So it's not quite been 24 hours, but I've gone kind of in between the two. I also nicked them a little bit. I don't know if you can see. I used a knife just to kind of saw them slightly. I mean, they kind of have like a little split in them anyway. And that's meant to help the shoots come out, I think. So I'm going to plant them into here, which has got John Innes seed compost that I sprayed really lightly with just one of these little gadgets, because it's always meant to be kind of moist but not wet. So I'm going to put them in. It says about, I think it was 0.5 centimetre deep, but then it says do not exclude light, so I'm not going to cover them. I'm just going to pop them in but not cover them, and then I'm going to pop one of these, which is a propagator lid. You can buy propagators for about £5, which is the base tray and a lid, but then I found these lids separately, and they're about £1.50 for a large one, or then I found out £1.20 for the small ones. I assumed they'd be 75p, but they were more expensive. I probably should have just got loads of big ones, but that's a proper propagator one there. But I think the lids work just fine, and so far I've found that the lids have helped just so much, and bringing them indoors as well into the heat. Okay, so I'm going to put my sweet peas in, and then we can monitor how they grow over the next few weeks. Okay, I've sown them. I don't know if you can see them. Just about. It's a little, can't find my finger. Little line up there, in true gem style, not completely straight, but I don't think it matters. The ones I've planted are these, which are nice kind of bright orange. They're called Miss Wilmot, and Singing the Blues, kind of bluey purpley one. So we'll see how they get on. I'm going to put these lids over, probably keep them in here for a couple of weeks maybe, and see how they get on. There we are, all labelled up and ready to get germinating. So the reason that I want to get into growing flowers is because I love wild garden, meadow, hedgerow type flowers that I can bring into the house, so I can grow outside and make nice flower arrangements to bring inside the house. I did a little bit of flower arranging last year and picked my own flowers from some local flower farms, which I just adore. I absolutely loved it, and I thought it would blow my mind if I could do it with my own flowers that I've grown from scratch. But I have never grown anything from seed before. I started growing some the last couple of weeks, and everything's looking really bad, as you'll probably see in future episodes. So I still need lots and lots of help. But I basically love local British cut flowers more than I do the ones that you get from supermarkets or the wholesalers or florists sometimes as well, just because they're all really matching and perfect, and I quite like the character that imperfect flowers give, so that's good for me because I probably will have lots of imperfect flowers. So watch this space. I'm going to be talking mainly about flowers, but some veg as well. The reason I've got an allotment is because I don't have a garden, barely at all, as you can see in this picture. I'm growing a lot of stuff in containers, but they're all perennials, so I'm actually running out of space. So I got an allotment. I'm going to grow 60% veg and as many flowers as I can get away with, and then make some nice arrangements, hopefully, when I start my level 1 floristry course next week.
And finally, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Adam at Allotment Grow How and Aaron at Aaron's Allotment for all their support so far. Thank you. So thank you all for watching. Please subscribe and like, and any comments below are very welcome. So see you next time.
And it's bye-bye greenhouse.
This week, Jem's going to be sowing.
Whoa, easy on the coffee, Jazz.
I love the plant. I love the flower. Who watches Allotment? Thank you to Aaron.
Easy on the coffee, Jazz.
And finally, I'd like the Aaron's Allotment for the.
Easy on the coffee, Jazz.
Thank you to Adam at How and Adam at Aaron's Allotment. And finally, I'd like to say